Hi guys, Mike here, and this is for Bush Class USA outing number 3. And today it's about 27 to 28 degrees and overcast, and little to no breeze to speak of, and of course no sun. And we've had a few warm days, and so some of the snow around here has kind of melted away. And so we're going to get out on the trail today and see what kind of adventures we can come up with and bring you along. And anyway, that's my brief introduction. Again, for Bush Class USA outing number 3. Let's hit the trail. I had to stop here at this marshland because it's just a great site for birding, just to see what's around. Wintertime here it's pretty quiet. There's a few chickadees and such. Do see some deer coming down to it occasionally, but not a lot of activity right now. But peaceful and a nice place to stop. I'm here today on a bluff overlooking the Minnesota River, and down below you can see the river itself and some of the land between us and it, and the train track. And it's quite unusual to see this much of the landscape because normally the trees are covered with leaves, but today we get a chance to kind of see a little bit more of the lay of the land. Beautiful and quiet. We have a lot of birch trees on the top of this bluff. Not so many when you get down towards the river. This one here I've come upon many times, with this long vertical cut right down the side, and it appears to have been used and harvested for paper birch a number of times, and left these scars. And I'm not sure who has done it, but it's probably done by several individuals over the course of time, because layers keep disappearing. I'm going to take this opportunity to stop and harvest a little bit of birch bark here for some tinder. Looks like it should be easy to gather. Nice. Just right. So I'll fold that up and put that bundle in my cargo pants pocket. And we'll leave enough for later. Well, I've got another birch bark tree here with quite a bit of birch bark available, but I don't really need it. But there's something on here that I would like to harvest. This is called horse's hoof fungus, or false tinder fungus. And I'm going to take a look at this a little later and see if maybe we can put a little bit of an ember in it and get it going. But I just thought I'd get a little bit of this and show you what we have on our birch trees here. Alright, let's get it in the back. A shaggy cedar tree here. Going to harvest a little cedar shavings. I'll be able to use that for some tinder. Oh yeah, very dry. That should give us a good bird's nest. Hi guys, I wanted to show you something. Where I'm standing is in the Minnesota River Valley, and it's on the far southern edge of the last major glacier that we had here. And in the glacial drift and pieces of debris and such that it calved out, lots of it were these very large rocks. So as you walk through the prairie and the woodlands around here, every once in a while you come across these really great big rocks that have spent their time held up inside a chunk of ice and then been pushed down here over the landscape, and then as it receded and created the Minnesota River Valley, it left behind these big boulders. So just wanted to show you a feature of this landscape and how interesting it is. You can see the size. I'm about 6 feet, and this is just about up to my shoulder here. If I, well, maybe a little less if I don't stand up straight. So anyway, I guess, yeah, it's an interesting feature and kind of fun to come across these big rocks. Can't pick it up. Well, I'm returning to yet another debris shelter I built earlier in the year just to see how it's fared through the winter. And it actually looks like it's done a little better than the other shelters I've visited. This one's actually not too bad. I spent a little more time building this one than the last. And looks like we still have a pretty reasonable windbreak there. So let's take a look. Not bad. Another note. I guess we'll have to take another note from the same person as left the note in my outing number 2 video, and with an email and phone number, and also the credentials of Tom Brown's Tracker School. So I'll have to add that one to my collection. But interesting. Somebody's out here. Got some cedar bark here, and some birch bark. And we'll see if we can get this to spark up here. It's a tad on the damp side. Now, let's see here. Well, I got the fire going here finally. The cedar bark even shredded, felt a little damp, and it would start to burn and then it would wink out, and got it to burn just long enough to get some birch bark going, and that helped finish the rest of the fire. So I was able to do everything with natural tinders today, and now we're going to get a bed of coals and do a little cooking. So anyway, good success so far. Yeah, it's so still out here. It's so beautiful. But keeping my eyes peeled for a lot of other natural resources. And that's something you got to do when you're kind of walking along. You got to gather what you can. Keep your eyes open. All right, let's keep moving. A little bit of an old kill. No idea what it is though. Well, while today's outing has been mostly involved in trying to find natural tinders to try, and I found some here that looks really fine. Looks like it'd be some kind of a flash tinder. It's something, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I don't think it's thistle. Anyway, I'm going to give it a try, so let's just see what happens here. Well, this did not work. As you can see, seems to be a very poor well, it flames a little bit. It's not the flash type tinder that you'd expect. Alright. Well, here we have some thistle pods. All of them with what appears to be probably some kind of fluff inside. And so I'm going to harvest a few of these. And see if we can't get some natural tinder out of those. So thistle down inside the kind of the seed pods. All right. Let's see how that works. Alright, I've removed some of the thistle down from the seed pods, and now I've got it fluffed up, and we're going to see if we can ignite that with a fire steel. So let me get the camera set up here. And we have flame. It doesn't burn quite as fast as it does when it's all fluffed up in the summer, but I guess it's would be enough to get some birch bark going. I suspect it's a little damp. I'm trying to keep from banging my hand on the rocks here. Yeah, there is flame. It does kind of flash briefly. There are some glowing embers in there. I suspect maybe it's still a little green. There we go. So, a good test of another natural tinder in the wintertime. Had to give it a try. Actually kept burning there for a little while. Alright, well there you go guys. Another experiment for outing number 3. Some of you may be wondering about that that horse's hoof fungus or false tinder fungus that I had. And here it is. Let's see if I can I wanted to show you that you can put a spark into it with your fire steel and use that to extend it. So it does work. This stuff is a little damp, especially in the wintertime. So it takes a little bit of care to get it going. But as you can see, it takes a nice spark with the right tinder. All of that could be blown into flame quite easily using some jute twine or some dry cedar bark. So there we go again for the day. Outing number 3, the adventure in natural tinders, and this is a false tinder fungus or horse's hoof fungus, and just ignited with a spark from the fire steel, and then it just continues to blow, to smolder. Takes a little blowing from your breath or the wind. A coal extender. All right, thanks guys, and on to the next thing. We'll just stop here for a bit. It's getting dark, and I'm not sure whether to call this an outing or not. Did a lot of hiking today. Tried a few natural tinders. Didn't have some success on some, and partial success on others, and didn't get a whole lot accomplished, but did do a lot of exploring and had a good time. Other than that, it's starting to get a little cool right now and getting a bit of a breeze, and the temperature is dropping rather quickly, so I'm headed back to the vehicle. But I thought I'd better put some kind of closure on this whole trip in case I do get it together into some form of video and decide to submit it. So if I do, well then, I want to thank Terry and all the other instructors at BushclassUSA. Also want to thank Sergeant Mack for keeping track of all of us. As usual, you do a good job, buddy. And thanks all you guys for your attention to the video. And I know you're all working on your bush classes as well, and your lessons, and just trying to get another one in the bag. But yeah, this has been a kind of a different trip. I had to kind of cut it short, and running out of time and daylight, and had so much other things that I wanted to get done. But anyway, I think that'll wrap it up, and take care. Talk to you guys next time. This is the tinder fungus left to itself about a half an hour later. Oh, it just continued to burn on its own. And continued to grow a very solid coal. So it's very interesting stuff. something to put in your kit if you need to use a natural tinder to extend the coal. Alright, just had to show you that. It's quite a long time after the initial ignition of this stuff.